Chapter 1. A Life of Pain. The sounds of shouts and doors slamming were familiar to Rusty, a young Labrador who knew all too well the chaos that plagued his life. He belonged to a man named Carl, a solitary figure living on the outskirts of town within a house that was falling apart. Carl had a habit of venting his frustrations on anyone or anything within reach, and Rusty often bore the brunt of his anger, receiving kicks, hearing shouting, and enduring days without food. Yet even in this dark world, Rusty's loyalty remained unbroken. Each time Carl stormed into the house in a drunken rage, Rusty would wag his tail, hoping for a gentle path, yet it never came. Only through learned cowering did Rusty recognize the heavy boots that always carried pain. His sole solace was found on moonlit nights when Carl would sleep. Then he could sit by the barred window, dreaming of a life where hands didn't harm and voices didn't hurt. Rusty would whimper softly, not out of fear, but out of longing. Chapter 2. The Day It Changed. 1. Gray morning, Rusty's ribs protruded more than usual, and his golden coat was dirty and matted. His legs trembled from exhaustion. Carl, irritated as ever, grumbled about Rusty being useless with a malicious grin. Deciding he no longer had a reason to keep the dog, Carl threw Rusty into the back of his old truck and drove toward the edge of town. In a clearing near the woods, Carl tossed an old leash at Rusty and abandoned him there. Confused and desperate, Rusty chased after the truck until his paws bled, but Carl never looked back. For the first time in his life, Rusty was truly alone. Chapter 3. The Healing Begins. 2 days went by before a kind-hearted woman named Grace stumbled upon Rusty. Grace was a retired veterinary nurse who spent her days volunteering at a local animal shelter. Seeing Rusty lying weak and motionless by the roadside, her heart broke. Gently approaching him and speaking softly, she said, "Hey, sweetheart, let's get you some help." Although Rusty was terrified of humans, he sensed something different. No yelling or kicking. Hesitantly, he allowed her to lift him into her car. At the shelter, Grace and her team spent weeks nursing Rusty back to health. While his physical wounds healed swiftly, his spirit remained scarred. He flinched at sudden movements and avoided men altogether. Grace understood that his recovery would take time, but she believed in him. Over the following months, her patience paid off. She taught Rusty that not all humans were cruel. Through treats, gentle paths, and countless walks, Rusty began to trust again. The once timid dog even started wagging his tail freely, a sight that brought tears to Grace's eyes. Chapter 4. A New Purpose. 2 years later, Rusty was unrecognizable. His golden coat shone with health, and his eyes sparkled with life. His transformation inspired Grace to train him as a therapy dog. She believed Rusty's resilience could bring hope to others who had faced pain and trauma. Rusty excelled in his training, earning his certification quickly. He began visiting hospitals, schools, and even prisons, bringing comfort to those in need. His gentle demeanor and warm presence touched everyone he met. Yet life held one more surprise for Rusty. Chapter 5. The encounter. 1 crisp autumn afternoon, Rusty and Grace attended a community outreach event. Among the crowd, a familiar figure caught Rusty's eye, Carl. His once overbearing posture now slouched, and his face was lined with age and regret. He looked broken, much like Rusty had been years ago. Rusty froze, his body tensing as memories of beatings, hunger, and abandonment flooded back. Sensing something was wrong, Grace followed Rusty's gaze. She didn't recognize the man, but she could feel the unease radiating from her beloved dog. To everyone's astonishment, Rusty began walking toward Carl. Grace called out, fearing the worst, but Rusty didn't stop. He reached Carl and sat down in front of him, his soulful eyes locking onto the man's. Carl, stunned, knelt down and whispered, "Rusty, is that you?" His voice trembling. Rusty wagged his tail cautiously, sensing the remorse in Carl's voice. Tears streamed down Carl's face as he admitted, "I didn't deserve you. I was a terrible man. I'm so sorry." Hesitantly, he reached out, and Rusty leaned into his touch. For the first time, Carl was met with no resistance or fear, only forgiveness. A quiet reminder that even the deepest wounds could heal. Chapter 6. Forgiveness and change. That moment changed Carl. He sought help for his anger and began volunteering at the animal shelter where Grace worked. Witnessing Rusty's transformation inspired him to become a better man, dedicating his time to ensuring no other animals suffered, as Rusty had. As for Rusty, he continued to spread love wherever he went. His story became a symbol of resilience, proving that even the most broken souls could find their way back to light. Moral of the story. The story of Rusty teaches us that forgiveness is a powerful force capable of healing not only the one who forgives, but also the one who seeks it. It reminds us to be kind and compassionate, as everyone deserves a chance to change and grow. Ultimately, love and understanding triumph over hate and pain.